Okay, so by now you made it through the first set of videos, and I am continuing to work on my shelf, and was able to get my composure and start with more of the story. So again, born and raised in Philadelphia, left Philadelphia in 1993 after my son, actually 1994, after my son was born. Due to the violence that I was facing with his biological father and the courts and things of that nature, I ended up almost becoming another Nicole Brown Simpson. We'll get more into that. So more about the bullying. Why does it start? You know, there's a lot of reasons why, as I mentioned, we never know why. And a lot of people do not get the answers as to why. Why was I bullied? Why did it have to happen to me? And the statistic is a lot of people that are bullied become a bullier. And I hate to say, but that is how I ended up with a young girl on the school bus, and I cannot remember her name to save my life. I did for many, many years. And I think her name was Suzanne, and thank God that stopped. Whatever stopped me from doing that, thank God I did. And I hope to this day that she is a strong person and she has overcome a lot of the tragedies that I put upon her in my time bullying her. It's an unfortunate situation. And I know she had brothers, Tommy and, God, I cannot remember. I apologize. She had a brother named Tommy. I remember that. And so, ironically, that was my husband's name, Tommy. And so the main thing that we always want to think about in reference to the bullying is we have to think of how the other person is feeling. How is this other person, and I apologize, making noise. How is this other person perceiving what you're doing to them, right? Everything is about perception in life. So growing up in Philadelphia, bullying was not my only trauma. So as I mentioned earlier, I grew up around a gang that was across the street from us. And, you know, they kept us somewhat protected. But one of the things they did not is protect us from seeing some of the horrible things that we experienced as children. One of the things that I experienced by living across the street from this gang is I've seen animals hung up on telephone wires, people being raped. Apologize, I'm going to grab this. People being raped. We had a situation where if the elderly that was living across the street at that time, we had houses over there, if they were to snitch, they were raped or their animals were hung. Over the years, those gentlemen did go to prison. They did eventually get out, and I was able to see them as I was older and talk to them a little bit more. One of them actually, years later, was going to buy a house of mine in North Carolina and get his family out of Philadelphia. But unfortunately and tragically, he died from a health condition that I don't think he realized how severe it was. And his main focus was to get out of Philadelphia and make sure that his kids were raised in a better environment. He followed me over the years at that time it was like MySpace, and he decided to move his family. We got to meet and talk, and I apologize, guys. It's hard for me to focus and try to do this at the same time, but I think I will focus on you. So that did not happen. I did eventually sell the house and moved away in North Carolina. I've moved multiple times in North Carolina. I've learned to heal about change. I'm very good with change. So one of the things about me, ironically, and I think a lot of people with trauma, we are good with change. Change for me was rejuvenating. Oh God, changing a job, changing a car, changing a house was so rejuvenating for me. And it gave me, it's like I lived 25 lives or 35 lives in my existence of being 52 now. And I say to myself, wow, how many people out here have gone through so much change in their life that you look back at yourself from 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, 25, you are nowhere near the same person that you were back then. And I do that with myself now. I feel like in the last 5 years since starting my own business, and my daughter's my partner, and we work to implement software systems and help people become financially profitable, streamlining software. Softwares get more and more complicated. We all know. I won't go into that boringness. You can check me out if you want to on my business page, but that's not why I'm here. I am here to talk about you. And if you are being bullied, definitely follow this, because I want to be your inspiration. I want to be the person that you will hear every one of my stories, good and bad, and to let you know that you are important. You are. There's a moment in the movie Help where she grabs the little girl, the nanny does, and she tells her, "You are loved, and you're important, and you're special," and whatever else she says. But everyone knows that what that is if you've ever watched the movie. And it's true. Every one of you are special. So in a way, look at it this way. Bullying is horrible. You're beat, your hair's pulled, you're tortured. I mean, tortured. You're left with emotional scars. You also are left with not being able to handle any emotion. Now, again, that's another thing I've learned about myself is I only let myself get so far and then I stop, because I realized a few years back when I was single and trying to date, I couldn't handle emotion. Oh my gosh, I had emotions, like really emotions for the first time in many, many decades, and I could not handle it. I could not handle it. I didn't even know how to feel. I didn't know anything, and it was so bad. I just remember going, this just isn't me. This just isn't me. I'm a Capricorn, and we are very good in general controlling emotion. And I learned to control emotion even deeper than that by the traumas that I've experienced because of the bullying, the PTSD, seeing people raped and murdered and shot and stabbed, and in school in front of me on my front step, the fires, the bombings, losing friends to murder, and even being out of Philadelphia since 1994. I'm still working on healing. It's a lifelong battle. I understand that. I know that. I've been working on myself for 10 years, and only up until the last 5, and more so the last 2 to 3, I've met some people in my life that really gave me a lot of meaning to keep fighting and to be who I am and find who I am. And one of the people I do owe most to is my husband. He's deaf and not able to hear this video, but he knows the stories. He was my confidant, the one that knew it all, the one I was able to talk a lot to. Some things I couldn't talk to him about. They were just too deep, like really deep. And I'll take that to another part.